welcome. I'm Jem Turner. Nice to meet you. So I originally filmed something for the next upload. However, there has been so much ableism this week in the media, but also I started my week personally with quite a triggering troll comment as well. You will have seen it if you follow my Instagram, but I don't like to dwell on ableism. I'll call it out when it happens, not necessarily all the time. I haven't called out the media stuff this week, just because number one, a lot of people have done it already, and very grateful for that because sometimes we have to lean on each other to, like a relay race. Some of us pick it up, some of us don't. Depends who's got the capacity, who's got the experience. Also, I was on holiday and I was like, I can't right now. My point is, there's been a lot this week, and in these situations, I'm going to do a whole video on how I deal with ableism, but for me, I think I have to acknowledge it. I have to sit in it for a little bit, but then I have to focus on something else. Because if you focus on it too much, for me personally, I don't think it's healthy for me to do so. So anyway, I filmed something for my next upload, and it was about, will I be able to manage breaking my bones? And I was just like, I just don't want, because it goes through like my childhood, what happens when I break a bone. So I've got that video ready, but I just thought, do you know what, I want to do something a little bit more up-tempo this week, something a little bit more lighthearted. So yeah, this is what, I don't really know why I'm telling you this, but yeah, I had something planned, life happens, and I think it's important to acknowledge what you've got the capacity for and what is good for you. And yeah, I thought after a bit of a week, sometimes we all need a bit of a distraction. I had a really good situation while I was on holiday this week, and it triggered a lot of thoughts about when people ask advice around children and staring and what to do in that situation. So actually this topic was one of the reasons why I kind of, not blew up because, but a blog that I wrote around this topic got shared quite a lot back in the day. I think it was 2017, and that's how my blog kind of spiraled from there and grew and grew. So it's a topic that I'm really passionate about. And basically, if you haven't read the blog, I'll link it below. But in a nutshell, it was saying that there's different ways that parents react when their children are staring. And everybody's different. Some people don't care. Some people care a lot. I would say I'm in the middle. First of all, I acknowledge that children are going to stare because I'm just going to recline myself. Children are going to stare because they're children. I used to stare at tall people. We as humans do look at each other. So first of all, I would say that is absolutely fine. But for me personally, what isn't fine is when grown adults drag their children away from disabled people. Because I think we learn a lot from our parents, obviously, when we're young. And to me, that's saying, stay away from disabled people. They are scary, they are not good, and we should not communicate with disabled people. To me, that's what it looks like. So when this happens, I feel a pressure to kind of smile and look as friendly as possible. And anyway, in this blog, I actually spoke about how there was a really good example of when I think I was in Leeds City Centre, I was eating some chicken nuggets, and a little girl said, "Mummy, look at that little lady," or something. And the mum just said, yes, and look at her sparkly shoes, or something like that. I can't remember the actual words. And I was just like, whoa, like, that is such a good way to do it. She was acknowledging my existence, first of all. It's always nice. And second of all, she sort of allowed the child to keep looking, but did it in a positive way. And I think that made it so much better. So ever since that, I've always used that story to educate people when they ask, what should I do in that situation? I also do get asked, like, should I say to my child, like, if the child says, Mummy, what's wrong with that girl? Should I say, go and ask her? And I think in the blog I say, like, that's better than dragging a child away. But also remember that, like, I have got stuff to do. I might be on a shopping trip. I might be having a really bad day. Like, to have the energy to educate people, you have to be in the right mindset. And some disabled people watching this might be annoyed that I've said that, and they might be absolutely buzzing to educate children, and that's great. But for me personally, if I had a choice, I would say I think it would be really helpful for parents to do that research themselves and follow disabled people online, find out, about society. And obviously you're not going to know everything, but we don't know everything about each other. Like, there are some things that you just don't know. And I think it's a case of, like, what do you need to know? And what does a child need to know in order to communicate with people in society? And what's something that's just because you're curious rather than you need to know? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's kind of how I see it. Anyway, so the whole point of this video is that, I went on holiday this week. Family wedding, beautiful. And we went to a premiere in, it's actually called a Beefeater, if anyone knows. I had no idea, but it's a chain in the UK, called the Beefeater. Anyway, we're getting breakfast there, and I just got in, and we'd had the wedding the night before, so I was a little bit tired, had a couple of drinks, not too many, but, hair scraped up, not looking my best. And I rolls in to the Beefeater, and this little girl, to be honest, I didn't really acknowledge that she was staring at me, just because sometimes it happens so much that you do zone a lot of it out as well. Anyway, I sort of smile at her, and we're looking at what table to go to, and I hear her mum say, either go and say hello or stop staring, it's rude. And I was just like, wow. It stopped me in my tracks, and I turned round, and I was like, hello, because I just thought, I'm going to say hello. And I was like, I like your skirt, because it's always nice to, like, chat to kids and not just, I don't know, for me, if I'm going to chat, I might as well, engage in the convo, look at their outfit, compliment them, just as I would an adult. And I was just like, I loved the way that her mum did that. She, instead of putting the negativity on me in that situation, like getting away from me or, oh, this is a bad situation, she actually put, a strict, not negative, but like, she judged a child instead of me, basically. And I think that was so good in that situation. She was telling a child how to interact with people rather than don't interact with people. I don't know, maybe I'm just making a really big thing out of nothing, but to me that was really, really helpful. And I ended up just chatting a little bit, and we were talking about sparkly outfits and stuff. And I don't know, the person probably will never see this, but if she happened to, I just want to say thank you, because, I just think if more parents did that, and told the children from a really early age, like, staring is rude, or staring does make people feel uncomfortable, then I think a lot more disabled people would be understood, they would be integrated in society more, and I know for a fact now that child, when they next see a disabled person, they will think about what they're doing. Like, even if she stares for a little bit, she'll snap out of it and think, oh, and either smile or move on. So, yeah, I want to share that because I think sometimes, as a disabled advocate, sometimes we can focus on the negative, and that's not like toxic positivity, but you're so used to like analysing situations and educating people on what not to say, but this is something that I actually wish more parents did. So, yeah, I hope that's helpful. I will link my blog below. I've also got some blogs around ableism if you're interested, just because it has been that kind of week. So if you want to learn more around ableism, I'll link them below. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts around children and disability. Have you got children? Have you taught your children about staring and asking questions? Have you got more questions about that? 'Cause I can do a part 2 if that would be useful. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and I've also got a Patreon if you'd like to support my work more. But yeah, thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!